My name is Vincent Kitira, and I create ratings for the GoodGuide's science team.
What does that mean, you create ratings?
So if you go to goodguide.com or if you download our iPhone app, you will find 0 to 10 ratings on the environmental, social, and health impacts of thousands of products. Now, these aren't just pulled out of thin air. We actually do research into these products and try to figure out the impact on the environment or your human health or society. Now, the way we do that for at least the environmental side is try to look at life cycle assessments, which are cradle-to-grave analyses of the different impacts of a product.
Okay, hold on a second. Life cycle analysis is life cycle is a cradle-to-grave analysis. What's cradle-to-grave?
So cradle-to-grave is, in other words, it's the birth of a product till the end of its life. So from extracting the materials that you need to put into the product, to manufacturing it, to packaging, and transporting it, to using it, and then finally disposing of it.
So you mean a green product isn't just a product that uses green materials?
No, a green product, well, there's many definitions for a green product, but in my opinion, a green product is something that is lower than the average product, on in all these phases in many different impact categories, like energy, like water, like solid waste, like acidification potential.
So it's digging deeper, and that's what you're doing here at Good Guide, to really figure out what is environmentally responsible, what is socially responsible, what is a healthy product. It's not necessarily what we think on the face of it. Okay, just get rid of some nasty ingredients or just put in some healthier ingredients or some greener materials. This is a more comprehensive approach that you and the science team are taking.
Yeah, so we're not just taking what marketers say at face value. What we're trying to do is take the actual attributes of a product, whether it does save energy, whether it is made from recycled content. Take those things and figure out what impact does it have compared to the average product in the product category. So compared to the products that it should be substituted with.
So you've been at this work for some time now. What do you find most challenging as you go about trying to figure out, okay, we're going to go to a new category like lighting or cars, or we're going to evaluate apparel. We have to figure out the criteria to evaluate all these products on. I mean, what's challenging or cool about that?
Well, there's many challenges. First thing, we got to figure out who to rate. So what companies do we look at? We got to figure out what's important. So we look at life cycle assessments and try to determine which phase of the entire life cycle is most important. So with energy consuming products, it's often the use phase. And so we look at how much energy it uses.
And you mean by use phase, that's actually when the consumer has purchased the product and is actually using it themselves, not when it's, say, manufactured or disposed of. Those would be other phases.
Exactly. So that's from when you purchase it, bring it home, use it, and then before you throw it away.
Okay, so your job is to figure all of that out and determine which phase has the biggest impact, and then figure out how you're going to evaluate all of these products.
Yeah, so we look at these different attributes of different products. We look at certifications and whether the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, whether a given product has their Design for Environment certification, along with hundreds of other attributes and other data points, and then come out with a 0 to 10 rating for each product.
Okay, last question. So you spend your days evaluating consumer products. You're steeped in this stuff based on their health, environmental, and social performance. So is there anything that you find particularly interesting or frustrating about how, as consumers, we interact with products?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we are a very consumer-friendly culture. So we do buy products very often, and if you really boil it down, I mean, there isn't. If you take a look at American lifestyles, they are conducive to buying a lot of products, but I always believe that you can opt out of the system, so you can create your own products if you need them. I actually don't buy that many packaged goods. Shop at farmers markets, bike to work, and that way you can avoid having to deal with many of the pitfalls that comes with buying consumer products, such as having to get rid of the packaging after its use.
All right, so from a man who's steeped in the subject, thinking about his products all the time, you're actually moving away from getting a lot of them yourself.
Yeah, it might seem backwards, but I think it's actually a step forwards.
All right, Vincent, well, thanks for talking with us.